Speaking on that, I saw a couple of interviews that you had given last year, and talking about the stop and frisk. It's a huge thing here as well, where it's called racial profiling as well by the police forces, looking at, young Afro-Caribbean boys, stopping them a lot more than they stop other people. What are your thoughts on, on the way the police forces carry out those actions? I know you've been very vocal about it.
I mean, honestly, you shouldn't stop someone who hasn't committed a crime or that hasn't given evidence or suspicion that they've committed a crime. Otherwise, I believe you're violating their rights. I was arrested protesting these very police tactics, and I stood trial. They offered deals for about 1.5 years, and I said no, and so we could stand trial. A number of the other protesters and I. Eventually, when we finally stood trial, they had whittled us down to, I think maybe there's 5 or 6 of us in Brooklyn, and some of us had cases in Brooklyn, Manhattan, and Queens. Wow. I had just a case in Brooklyn, and the trial lasted like a couple days. The police captains testified against us, the subordinates testified against us, but when it was all said and done, the judge acquitted us because they were wrong. They couldn't. They were wrong for why they arrested us during the protests, and they were wrong to continue to practice these policing methods. All it does is criminalize young black and brown men, and then make it actually harder to do real police work. As far as getting to know the communities, finding out what crimes went down by having people by building relationships. This doesn't build relationships in the communities. Wow. So I mean, it's the same in New York. It's the same here. In fact, what the former police chief in New York is one of the people who spread it here. Yeah, William Bratton. So it spread like a disease. And I honestly believe that most police want to do good work, and most police want to serve the communities that they're in. But if they're given quotas and rules that don't allow them to do that. If police are punished because they don't fulfill those quotas, then of course they're going to go out there and do bad things in order to keep their jobs, so they don't get dangerous assignments and so on. So it's like I'm not even mad at the police. I mean, those are my brothers and sisters as well, and oftentimes they're put in very bad, dangerous situations.
They just have to do a job.
Exactly, and it benefits their bosses
and
their bosses, so they continue to get their promotions and so on. So but it won't change without the citizens saying something. That's been happening. I've seen it happening here in the UK. It's happening in the States. It's always going to come down to the people to change things. And in fact, that's
a strong message.
Exactly,
isn't it?
That's the whole premise of my company, Liberated People. It's like this is. We're fighting for liberation.
So where can they get more information about Liberated People again?
You can find out more information about Liberated People at weareliberated.com. That's it. weareliberated.com.